96.9 WBZH and 101.1 WHSM, Hayward's home for real news and great conversation. Here's your daily news roundup.
For WBZH and WHSM News, I'm Maddie Schaefer. Over the weekend, the Wisconsin Historical Society hosted events in Superior to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald. The Edmund Fitzgerald was one of the largest freighters of its time to sail the Great Lakes, measuring 729 feet long with a 75-foot beam. It sank on November 10, 1975, with 29 crew members aboard after encountering treacherous weather. As a part of its statewide History Makers Tour, the Wisconsin Historical Society partnered with UW Superior and the Douglas County Historical Society to host a program featuring acclaimed shipwreck historian Rick Mixter. Mixter presented investigations into the wreck, including exclusive footage, survival interviews, and insights from his personal dive to the site. Mixter mentioned other tragedies that happened that day and urged that there should be recognition for other heroic acts that may be lesser known.
It's been 50 years. We'll always remember the Fitzgerald people. I think that it's special that we do that. It's special that Split Rock gets lit up, but I also want to see that go a little bit further than that.
On Sunday, a new historical marker was unveiled to honor the Edmund Fitzgerald at Barker's Island in Superior by local group Friends of the Fitz and Mayor Jim Payne. Wisconsin Representative Angela Stroud also presented new legislation recognizing November 10, 2025 as the 50th anniversary of the tragic loss of the crew of the SS Edmund Fitzgerald. There is also a new documentary that premiered throughout Wisconsin on Monday called 50 Years Later, the Edmund Fitzgerald. The Wisconsin Department of Health Services has launched a new online webpage to help track cases of flu-like illnesses. The new respiratory data webpage summarizes data on outpatient and urgent care visits, where patients can report with a fever of over 100 degrees, as well as a cough or sore throat. The webpage features an interactive map where residents can track flu-like illness activity across various regions of the state over specific periods of time. Department of Health Services officials previously warned there's been a significant drop in the number of residents who have already received their flu shot this year. According to DHS data, about half as many Wisconsinites received their annual flu shot throughout the month of October this year compared to last year, which saw nearly 860,000 get their flu shot. DHS officials are still encouraging residents to get their flu shot as soon as possible as winter weather continues to settle in across the state. Yesterday, we aired a story about LP Solutions donating to help with the cost of banners for the Hayward High School Band and Choir seniors. Hayward Music Boosters Program President Darren White tells WBZH that the banners were made by Apple Awards, not by Advanced Printing, which we previously reported on Monday. Darren White adds that this is the third year that the banners have been in production for the seniors, and it is the first year that the Hayward Music Boosters program has had a sponsor for the banners to help offset the cost. The Boosters program paid the full cost for the banners in its first 2 years. We regret this error and thank the Hayward Boosters program for the correction. Today is Veterans Day, a time to honor all who've served. But did you know this national holiday has Wisconsin roots? Terry Barr explains.
His name is Harvey Higley. And if you haven't heard of him, there's a good reason. The Marinette County man's story had been lost until recently.
Harvey is an amazing guy and has an impact on us every year, and nobody knows about it. Harvey graduated from the University of Wisconsin in 1915, and just 2 years later, he found himself in the battlefields of France. He went over for World War I. It left such an indelible impression on him.
Todd Pritchard is with the Wisconsin Alumni Association and tells me as he was digging into Higley's background, he found some amazing history. He led the State American Legion, and later Higley served as head of Veterans Affairs under President Dwight Eisenhower.
He thought, how can we really dedicate a day to veterans? created a bill to change Armistice Day to Veterans Day. And that's what we celebrate now every year.
Harvey Higley is worth remembering. It's the Wisconsin man's work ensuring our nation never forgets to honor our veterans.
Yesterday, we aired a story about LP Solutions donating to help with the cost of banners for the Hayward High School Band and Choir seniors. Hayward Music Boosters Program President Darren White tells WBZH that the banners were made by Apple Awards, not by Advanced Printing, which we previously reported on Monday. White adds that this is the third year that the banners have been in production for the seniors, and it is the first year that the Hayward Music Boosters Program has had a sponsor for the banners to help offset the cost. The Boosters program paid the full cost for the banners in its first 2 years. We regret this error and thank the Hayward Boosters program for the correction. For WBZH and WHSM News, I'm Maddie Schaefer.
The Packers lose to the Eagles. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports from Lambeau Field, where the Packers folded 10-7 to the Philadelphia Eagles. For a second week in a row, Green Bay's offense failed to generate enough points. Quarterback Jordan Love.
Got to get back to the drawing board. Same thing as last week, get back to the film session, trying to find ways to figure out what we're not doing as well right now, what's kind of keeping us in a funk and not letting us kind of get into a rhythm.
Packers head coach Matt LaFleur asked if he's concerned about his future.
You don't have a long-term extension. With the way things have gone this season, do you think you're coaching for your job?
I'm not. I'll leave that for everybody else to decide. I'll just focus on the day-to-day, and I feel like you're always coaching for everything in this league.
Packers center Elton Jenkins left the game in the second quarter after fracturing a bone in his lower leg. NBA, the Bucks beat the Mavericks 116-114 in Dallas. They play the Hornets in Charlotte tomorrow night. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
Partly to mostly cloudy today with a high in the upper 30s to low 40s this afternoon. The wind out of the southwest at 5 to 15. Tonight, mostly cloudy, will drop to 28. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high in the low to mid 40s. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable.
That's your Hayward News Roundup from WBZH and WHSM. Find more news anytime at wbzh.fm/news. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts.